Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Chapter 90.
Let's start with Menghuo's base of operations.
Right. After his fifth defeat, he falls back to his main stronghold, the Silver Pit Cave or Yinking Cave.
And its location is important.
Very. It's at the junction of three rivers, the Lu, Ganin, and Xicheng. They call it the Three Rivers area.
Gives it a natural defense, I imagine.
Definitely. Plus, there are productive plains to the north and the Silver Pit Mountain itself to the south, where they get their silver. It houses the barbarian king's palace.
Okay, but it's the culture there that's really striking in the sources. What stands out?
Well, the biggest contrast is probably their religious and legal setup, or lack thereof in some ways.
How so?
Their religion is heavily based on ancestor worship. They call it Jiagi, the home ghost. That's pretty standard, maybe.
Okay.
But their boogie rituals for consulting the spirits, those are intense. They sacrifice cattle, horses.
Standard enough for some ancient cultures, perhaps.
Yes, but the sources specifically say, annually, they also sacrifice Shu people and other outsiders.
Wow. Okay, that really changes the stakes for Kongning's invasion, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It shows they're not just resisting. They see outsiders as, well, potential ritual components.
And their laws or social order.
Very direct. There's no real formal legal system as we'd recognize it. If you commit a crime, it's just immediate execution, no trial, nothing.
Swift. And what about health? Sickness?
They completely reject medicine. It's all about shamans and sorcerers. They call it the Yaogi, the medicine ghost. If you're sick, you see a sorcerer, not a physician.
So a really harsh, ritual-driven society in many ways, which makes their social customs around, say, marriage even more surprising.
It is a fascinating contrast, isn't it? The shuyi, or learning art custom.
Tell us about that.
Basically, when girls reach a certain age, they bathe openly in streams, mingling with men. They choose their own partners right there.
Freely, without family intervention.
According to the sources, yes. No parental interference. It's completely self-selection. Very different from the arranged family-focused marriages common in the Central Plains.
And just surviving there sounds tough. The diet.
Yeah. The sources mention extreme measures. If the rice harvest fails, they resort to, and this is a direct mention, killing snakes for soup and boiling elephants for rice.
Snakes and elephants. That paints a picture of a very resilient, maybe desperate people.
It does. Resourceful, certainly. The hierarchy is also pretty simple. You have the Dongzu, the cave masters at the top. Everyone else is basically a Qisheng, a chieftain.
And they all come together to trade.
In Sanjiang City. That's the hub. Happens twice a month on the 1st and 15th.
Right, Sanjiang City. Which becomes the next major obstacle for Kongming, doesn't it? After Menghuo gets back to his cave.
Yes. Menghuo is licking his wounds, and he turns to his wife's brother, the Dailai cave master.
Bring come cave master, literally.
Right. And Dailai suggests getting help from King Mulu, the sorcerer. But first, Kongming needs to take Sanjiang City, which is guarded by King Duosi.
And Duosi has a nasty surprise waiting.
He does. Poison arrows. His archers use these special crossbows. They fire 10 shafts at once.
10 at once.
Yeah, but the real problem isn't the volume. It's the poison they coat the arrowheads with.
What did it do?
The sources describe it vividly. It causes the flesh to rot almost instantly. If it gets into the system, reaches the organs, you die.
Nasty. And effective, apparently. Even against top generals.
Extremely effective. Zhao Yun and Wei Yan, two of Shu's best, are forced to pull back. They just can't advance without taking unacceptable losses.
So a chemical defense, essentially. How does Kongming tackle that? You can't just charge through it.
Exactly. Direct assault is out. So Kongming pivots. First, a psychological trick.
Ah, classic Kongming.
He retreats, pulls his forces back for 5 whole days, makes King Duosi think the Shu army is terrified that the poison worked, maybe they've given up.
Lulling them into a false sense of security.
Precisely. Then comes the really clever part, the engineering solution. He gives a secret order. Every soldier, every single one, is to gather a piece of clean dirt and wrap it in their clothing.
Dirt. Just dirt.
Just dirt. Then, under the cover of the first watch, he orders 10,000 troops, including surrendered soldiers, to rush the city walls.
And do what with the dirt?
Just drop it, pile it up right at the base of the walls.
Ah, I see where this is going. Thousands of soldiers, each adding a little bit.
Instantly creates a massive mound, a ramp. The sources call it a dengdao, a stepping road.
Straighter to the top of the wall.
Exactly. It happened so fast, the defenders were completely overwhelmed. The breach was sudden, total. King Duosi was killed in the chaos, and Sanjiang City fell.
Incredible. Not with siege engines, but with coordinated manual labor and a bit of psychology.
Genius. It shows his flexibility. He understood the specific problem and found a unique, low-tech, but highly effective solution.
Okay, Sanjiang is taken, but Menghuo isn't done. Now his wife steps up. Lady Zhu Rong.
Yes, and she's presented as this formidable figure, a descendant of Zhurong, the god of fire, rides a distinctive, curly-haired red rabbit horse.
Sounds impressive. What were her skills?
She's a warrior, wields a long spear, but her specialty, her signature weapon, is flying knives.
Flying knives.
5 of them concealed on her back, and the text claims she has 100% accuracy with them, never misses.
Okay, so another unique threat. Not poison, not magic yet, but pure martial skill. Did she have success?
Immediately, she goes out and, in short order, defeats and captures 2 Shu generals. Zhang Yi gets hit in the left arm with a knife. Ma Zong's horse trips, and he's captured too.
So she's actually taking down Kong Ming's officers. That must have hit morale.
It certainly did. But again, Kong Ming adapts. He sees she's driven by personal skill and likely a desire to avenge her husband's defeats. He doesn't meet force with force.
What does he do?
He uses Zhao Yun and Wei Yan again, but not for a direct fight. Their job is to lure her out. Engage, then feign retreat. Draw her into a pre-planned trap.
Another trap. Not dirt this time, I assume.
Much simpler, actually. Almost anticlimactic after the drama of the poison and the ramp. He uses General Ma Dai.
And Ma Dai's plan?
Just a rope. Ma Dai hides along a narrow path where they expect her to pursue. He stretches a trip rope, a snare, across the path.
No way.
Yes. Her famous horse hits the rope, trips, and down she goes. Captured. Just like that.
A simple rope takes down the fire god's descendant.
It's about the strategy, not the weapon. Kong Ming used patience, terrain, and a basic understanding of physics to neutralize a highly skilled individual fighter.
Brilliant in its simplicity.
Yeah.
What happened after she was captured?
Kong Ming plays it perfectly. He treats her with the utmost respect, unbinds her, praises her skill, and offers her wine. Then he sends her back.
Just lets her go.
In exchange for his captured generals, Zhang Yu and Ma Zong, it's a prisoner exchange, but done with courtesy. He gains the upper hand militarily, but also morally. He's showing he's a just opponent, not just a conqueror.
Minimizing bitterness, maximizing honor. Smart move. But Menghuo still hasn't submitted.
Still hasn't. So now he plays his final card, the one promised by Dai Lai Cave Master earlier, King Mulu, the sorcerer.
Finally the magic user arrives. How's his entrance?
It's quite the spectacle. Rides in on a white elephant, decked out in gold and pearls. His troops are unusual.
How so?
They're naked soldiers, each carrying 4 knives. And they don't use drums or gongs for signals. They use sifting gold somehow. It's all designed to be alien and intimidating.
Definitely sounds unsettling. And the magic itself, what does Mulu do?
He starts chanting, shakes the special bell he carries, the dizong, and then chaos erupts.
What kind of chaos?
Wild winds kick up, sand and stones fly everywhere, but the main attack is animals. Real wild beasts, tigers, leopards, wolves, venomous snakes, scorpions, a whole menagerie charging the Shu lines.
Okay, that's definitely not standard warfare. How do the Shu troops react?
They panic. They break ranks and flee. It's terrifying and utterly outside their experience. The initial assault is a complete rout for Shu.
So magic works. How does Kong Ming respond to this? Can strategy beat sorcery?
This is where Kong Ming reveals just how prepared he was. He apparently tells his generals, quite calmly, that he knew about this southern barbarian technique, the driving tiger and leopard technique, even before he left his famous thatched hut back in Longzhou.
He anticipated fighting animal armies driven by magic. Years in advance.
That's what the text implies. And he had a countermeasure ready, not magic, but technology. He brings out these special vehicles, 10 of them initially, red oil cabinet cars, they're called.
Red oil cabinet cars, what are they?
They're like mobile platforms concealing giant mechanical beasts.
Mechanical beasts?
Yes. Large wooden animals, painted garishly, covered in 5-colored thread for fur, fitted with steel teeth and claws. They look terrifying.
Like parade floats from hell. What's inside?
Each one carries 10 elite soldiers. And crucially, they're equipped with mechanisms to spew smoke and fire from the mouths of these wooden beasts. They also make loud noises, like bells ringing.
So Kong Ming built giant, fire-breathing monster robots.
Essentially, yes. A technological and psychological counter. He understands Mulu's magic relies on controlling real animals.
Right, the animal's fear response.
Exactly. So Kong Ming uses his own magic, well, meteorology knowledge, to redirect the wind back towards Mulu's forces. Then he deploys his mechanical monsters.
Now what happens?
The real animals, tigers, leopards, snakes, see these enormous fire-breathing, roaring things coming at them. Things that seem even more terrifying and unnatural than whatever magic Mulu used on them.
They panic.
Utterly. Their instinct overrides Mulu's control. They turn tail and stampede back towards their own lines, trampling Mulu's naked soldiers.
And Mulu himself.
Killed in the chaos, caught in the stampede of his own magical animal army, undone by Kong Ming's invention.
Wow. So technology and psychology defeat sorcery. That's quite a statement.
It really is. Kong Ming didn't need counter magic. He just needed to understand the mechanism of the threat and create something even scarier.
Okay, the Sorcerer King is dead. The magic army is defeated. Silver Pit Cave is taken. Surely Menghuo gives up now. This is the 6th capture, right?
It seems like it should be over, but there's one last twist. Dailai Cave Master Lady Zhu Rong's brother shows up.
What does he want?
He brings Menghuo and a bunch of other chieftains, all bound up. He claims they've finally seen the light and want to surrender properly. A full submission.
That sounds convenient. Does Kong Ming buy it?
Not for a second. Kong Ming's intuition is sharp. He knows Menghuo's pride. He thinks, wait, Menghuo was captured by my men before. Why would he suddenly surrender via his brother-in-law?
Suspects a trick?
Precisely. He figures it's a ploy. A fake surrender to get inside the Shu camp and launch a surprise attack. Maybe vaccinate him.
So what does he do?
He orders all the surrenderers seized immediately, and sure enough, when they search them,
Daggers.
concealed daggers on every one of them. The assassination attempt is foiled. Menghuo is captured yet again.
That makes 6 times. So Kong Ming confronts him. What does Menghuo say now? Caught red-handed in a deception.
He actually admits it. He says something like, yes, we walked right into our own trap. But he still refuses to truly submit.
Still, after being caught trying to cheat, what's his reasoning this time?
This is the crucial part for understanding Menghuo. He argues that because the 6th capture resulted from his own failed deception, it doesn't count as Kong Ming genuinely overpowering him through skill or strategy.
So it wasn't a fair capture in his eyes, even though he was the one trying to be unfair.
Exactly. His honor, twisted as it might seem to us, isn't satisfied. So he makes a final proposal, a final condition for his surrender.
Which is?
He says basically, look, this one didn't count. But if you, Kong Ming, manage to capture me a 7th time, then I will finally be convinced. I will submit completely, heart and mind, and I swear I will never rebel again.
The 7th time. He sets this specific, almost mythical number.
Yes. And Kong Ming, ever confident, perhaps seeing the psychological endgame here,
Lets him go again.
releases Menghuo and all his followers one more time.
Menghuo travels, what was it, 700 long,
Yeah, a long way. Maybe 200 miles, give or take. Southeast to the Wuguo Kingdom.
to meet King Wutugu. And the descriptions of this guy, they're pretty intense.
They really are. You have to remember the dramatic flair of the source, of course, but yeah. 12 feet tall, apparently. Eats only raw snakes and wild beasts.
Whoa.
And supposedly has scales, actual scales, that block swords and spears. It's designed to terrify, a kind of biological horror for the Shu soldiers.
And his army,
Yeah.
the famous rattan armor army. This wasn't just legend, right? They had specific armor.
Oh, very specific. And the process to make it was painstaking. It wasn't metal armor at all.
Right, it was made from vine.
Thick vines, yeah, grown on mountain cliffs. And get this, they'd soak them in oil, dry them in the sun, soak them again, like 10 or more times. Took half a year.
Half a year per set. Wow. So what did all that oil and drying do?
It created something unique. The armor was incredibly tough, obviously. Arrows, knives, spears, useless against it. But also,
So did.
exactly, it was buoyant. So these soldiers could cross rivers just by taking off the armor and using it like a raft. Plus, it was waterproof, perfect for that marshy, river-filled southern terrain.
Okay, so floating, knife-proof soldiers. Fed enough. But the land itself fought back too, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. The second line of defense, their base was near the peach blossom water.
Peach blossom water. Sounds nice.
Not so nice if you weren't local. The story goes, leaves from certain trees fell into it, poisoned it. Outsiders drank it. Instant death.
Obviously.
That's the account. But the Wuguo troops, they could drink it fine. Apparently it even gave them energy.
So Kong Ming couldn't even rely on local water sources. His supply lines, his troops' basic needs, all compromised.
It was a logistical nightmare piled on top of a tactical one. An enemy you can't cut who floats in territory that actively poisons you.
No wonder Wei Yan's first attack was such a disaster. He reports back, arrows bouncing off, troops just floating away when tired.
A complete failure. And this is where Kong Ming's advisor, Lu Kai, basically says, let's get out of here.
He advised retreat.
Yeah. His argument was pragmatic. He said, look, this place is too wild, too uncivilized, as the sources put it. Even if we win, what's the long-term gain? It's not worth the cost, the risk, the constant attrition.
But Kong Ming refused. He knew he had to finish this, right? For good.
He did. He couldn't leave this threat simmering on the border, so instead of retreating, he pivots. He goes from direct engagement to geographical warfare.
He starts scouting personally.
Yes. Ditches his fancy carriage, goes trekking through the roughest terrain himself. He's hunting for a weakness in the land, not just the army.
And he finds Pan Snake Valley, Panchigu.
Exactly. And the description is key. It's long, winding like a snake, hence the name. Sheer cliffs, bare rock walls, and crucially...
No trees.
No trees. This is vital. Menghuo and Wutugu were already suspicious of ambushes in forests. That's a classic Chinese tactic.
So a bare valley seems safe?
To them, yes. Kong Ming finds this spot and apparently exclaims it's heaven sent because it looks like the opposite of an ambush site.
Which leads to maybe the weirdest part of the strategy, the setup. The orders he gives Wei Yan.
Oh, it's brutal. Psychologically brilliant, but brutal for Wei Yan. Kong Ming orders him to fight Wutugu and lose. Deliberately.
Not just once.
15 times. Lose 15 battles. Abandon 7 camps. Over half a month.
Wow. Imagine being Wei Yan, ordered to look incompetent to retreat again and again.
Exactly. The whole point was to feed Wutugu's ego, make him utterly convinced that the Shu army was broken, predictable, and just running away scared. Reinforce the idea that Kong Ming only knew forest ambushes.
And while Wei Yan is playing the loser, the real work is happening elsewhere.
Precisely. Mei and Zhao Yun are busy. They're setting up the real trap at the entrance and exit of Pan Snake Valley. Moving in carts, black oil carts, and hidden fire-starting gear.
So the losses pile up. 15 defeats. Menghuo starts boasting, right? Thinking he's finally figured Kong Ming out.
Totally complacent. He's like, see, Kong Ming's tricks are useless against us. He thinks the Shu army is just making a desperate run for it through this safe, treeless valley.
And then day 16, the lure works.
Perfectly. Wei Yan pretends to make one last stand, then flees right into Pan Snake Valley. And Wutugu, full of confidence,
Follows him right in. With his entire army.
the whole force, 30,000 rattan armor troops, march into the valley. Wutugu looks around, sees the bare rock walls, no trees, no possibility of a forest ambush. He feels secure.
And that's when the trap springs.
Instantly. The entrance they just came through, blocked. Logs, rocks, carts filled with dry kindling rolled down. Same at the exit ahead. They're sealed in.
But how did they trigger the main event? Just fire?
Not just fire initially. Those black oil carts weren't just fuel. They had something called earth thunder delay, like buried mines or cannons.
By thunder, what do they do?
The sources describe them as complex devices, maybe multiple charges inside set off by fuses. The idea seems to have been massive localized explosions using the oil, designed to shatter rocks, sow chaos, and ignite everything.
And then came the fire from above.
Yeah, torches and fire thrown down from the sheer cliffs on both sides. And now, the fatal vulnerability is revealed.
The oil.
The oil soaked deep into those rattan vines over months of preparation, the very thing that made the armor waterproof and tough.
Made it incredibly flammable.
Catastrophically so. It caught fire instantly. The whole valley became an inferno.
30,000 soldiers.
Yeah.
And Wutugu gone.
Incinerated. The sources mention the horrific stench filling the valley for a long time afterwards, a truly gruesome scene.
And Kong Ming's reaction. It's telling, isn't it?
Deeply. He watches the destruction and the account says he wept. He actually says something like, "Though I've done a great service for the state today, I will surely lose years from my own life for committing this great sin."
A great sin. He knew the cost, the moral horror of it.
Absolutely. It underlines that this wasn't savagery for its own sake. It was calculated, necessary horror in his view. There's that principle mentioned. He who benefits from water will surely be disadvantaged by fire. The armor's strength was turned into its fatal flaw.
And this devastation finally breaks Menghuo.
Completely. He rushes towards the valley, probably trying to regroup, finds only fire and death. Then he's ambushed. Zhang Yi, Ma Zhang pop out from hiding. He tries to flee.
And runs right into Ma Dai. The seventh capture.
The final one. And this time, Kongming releases him again. But Menghuo refuses to go.
He just stays.
Yeah. He's utterly broken. He weeps, talks about the shame, the unprecedented nature of being captured and released 7 times. He, his family, including Lady Zhurong, they all submit.
And he makes that vow. The Nan Man will never rebel again.
A vow that, according to the narrative, held. But now Kongming faces a different challenge. How to govern this newly pacified but surely traumatized region.
The obvious move would be occupation, right? Leave governors, leave troops.
That would be the standard playbook. But Kongming does something radical. He decides not to leave any Shu officials or soldiers behind. None.
Why? After all that effort?
He explains it with what are called the 3 difficulties, or 3B. Basically, 3 reasons why occupation would fail.
Okay, what were they?
First, supply. Keeping foreign troops fed and supplied down there, in that terrain. Constant drain, constant difficulty. We already saw the water issue.
Makes sense. Second,
Safety and revolt. If you leave officials without troops, they're vulnerable, especially after burning 30,000 locals alive. Resentment would be huge. Leaving troops with them just leads back to the supply problem and breeds friction.
Okay, supply safety. What's the third?
This is the key one. Trust. Kongming argued the Nanmen people would simply never fully trust outsiders governing them. There was too much history, too much suspicion, too much bloodshed now.
So instead of force, he chose trust.
Complete trust, essentially. He calculated that the sheer shock of the final victory, combined with the repeated releases, had genuinely broken the cycle of rebellion. He puts faith in Menghuo's vow and lets the Nanman govern themselves.
And it worked.
According to the sources, yes. It was a huge success. The Nanmen people were reportedly grateful. They built shrines to Kongming, called him kind father. They pledged resources, gold, horses, whatever the state needed, and kept the peace.